What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Corporate Bartender. Rub some dirt on it is a thing of the past. Kicking off a career out of school is a different animal than it was when us GenXers were coming up. The Dr. Cox approach, if you remember that character from Scrubs, doesn't fly these days. And kids coming up today didn't have the same set of experiences that we did. The pandemic changed a lot of this. Well, if you have kids or know someone who's about to launch, you're in for a treat. We've got Jenny Lavey on the program today. Jenny's a lifer in HR, co-host of the podcast WTF is Business Casual, and is the co-founder of Rise HR. Oh, and she's an OG TCB'er. This conversation was a banger, and I know you're going to dig it, so buckle up, TCB'ers, grab your favorite cocktail, and let's get right on into it with Jenny Lavey on today's TCB.
Welcome to SkyTeam's The Corporate Bartender, where we gather some of the best HR and people leaders to discuss what's happening on the people side of business. Join the bartenders, Eric and Lori, as they interview some of today's most innovative thinkers, share tips, tricks, and tools, while enjoying some good old-fashioned community and, as always, laughing a lot. Now pull up a stool, belly up to the bar, and join us for The Corporate Bartender.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It is your favorite day and mine. It is Corporate Bartender Day. It is tax day. Uh-oh. If you hadn't got those taxes filed, get that done. Well, by the time you see this, you'll have needed an extension already. It is the 239th time that we have convened this group of amazing people. So good to see everybody. We have a great crew in-house today. We saw a corgi pre-show. I mean, yep. Come on.
Corgi puppy
in the wild, outside. It's good stuff. Today's going to be
wild.
Today's going to be a fun day. We have Jenny Lavey on the show today. She is the co-founder of Rise HR and co-host of the podcast. I'm going to say its full name because I think it deserves it. What the fuck is Business Casual?
Oh, that's what that means.
Why the face is Business Casual? She's co-host of that show, and she's an OG TCB'er. So We're stoked to have her here. And, we don't even have to warn her because she knows what we do. We dance people onto the show. Welcome, Jenny.
Hello.
There it is. Dance like that EDM guy on the treadmills, Jenny.
Yes. Woo, woo.
Jenny's my gym buddy, too. So we go to the same gym in Broomfield. And we were sharing our stories of people that we have noticed at the gym. And pre-show, she was reminding me and telling Lori of this one guy who watches EDM shows on his phone and dances while he runs on the treadmill. And it's awesome.
It's fabulous. I love it. It makes me so happy. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk today about the workplace, about Jenny's podcast, and about what she gets fired up about. One of those things is generational differences, especially like new grads stepping into the work frame. And, this isn't the 90s anymore. It's not even the naughties anymore. I love that British euphemism, the naughties. Rub some dirt on it is a thing of the past. But hey, Gen X isn't going to live forever. Hell, we're lucky to have made it here. So, despite our best efforts, we're going to have to figure out how to solve that problem. And I think the problem statement is something like, unless you went to business school, new grads, they just don't know how to corporate. Jenny's got a solution for that, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, Jenny, we always start with an origin story. So when you were a child, I don't think you said, when I grow up, I'm going to start my own HR practice and a podcast. Because podcasts didn't exist, and who wants to be in HR? Like, nobody wants to be in HR when they're 8.
I didn't know it existed.
Right?
And there was no HR degree.
No. So tell us your journey. Where did it start? How did you get here? And what happened in the middle?
Okay. Well, actually, when I was a kid, my grandma used to tell me I asked too many questions, and I feel like that was a natural transition into what I do today. So maybe I was, supposed to be in HR. But yeah, I fell into HR. Again, there was no HR degree back then, and I got a communications degree, and I was looking for a job right out of college. So I guess this is gonna, come full circle. But right out of college, didn't know what I wanted to do. And I went to a staffing agency and I met with the woman there. And I was like, I love what you do. And so, because she was interviewing me and she was trying to figure out where I would be a good fit, what clients. And so they hired me. They hired me there. And so I started recruiting. And then once I started recruiting, I decided I wanted to go in-house because I wanted to see like full life cycle stuff in a company. So I went to a medical device company and I was there for 6 years, I believe. And then I joined Meredith actually at my next employer and was there for quite some time and, went up in the ranks as an HR business partner. And then,
Jenny, you can tell when people are of a certain age because they start off telling explicit time frames and then they go, and then I was there for quite some time.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, it all just kind of runs together after a certain point. But so HR business partner is my background, and I was able to be in a bunch of different industries. So everything from manufacturing to telecom, which Eric, you and I share that. Morag, we share that. So so it's been a fun ride. A few years ago, after the pandemic, I kind of got to the point where I felt like HR didn't feel as people focused anymore. And that's what I loved about it. And so I decided it was time for me to go do something else. And I'd been thinking about consulting for quite some time, but I'd been too scared, honestly, to do it. And I shared with my colleague that I was thinking about going out on my own. And she said, I'll do it with you. So we both jumped. It's fun to jump with someone, I will say.
Right. Yeah.
So that was about 3.5 years ago. And so we started Rise HR. And I had the dream to do the podcast too. I just thought it would be fun. And so then we started the podcast, and it's been a blast. And most of it is us like ranting about things that drive us crazy or sharing HR stuff that nobody usually hears that are not in HR. So it's been a blast.
It's the podcast version of the book that every HR person.
Yes, that's exactly what we say.
Yeah.
Yes. And the name of it, actually. So we were with a colleague and she was telling us her daughter had just gotten her first corporate job. And she texted her mom and said, what the fuck is business casual? And so we're like, that's the name. So we got permission and there you go.
So, one thing I miss from the OG TCB days, Jenny, is when you would share photos of your husband photoshopping himself into different scenes. That was a pandemic highlight for me.
Yes. Oh my God. I don't even know how many pictures we have, but we bought a green screen and he green screened himself. And it's so funny because you can see the evolution, because at the beginning, they're kind of like fairly basic, not too elaborate. And then by the end, they were so amazing. Like he had an astronaut one and I remember
that one.
Yeah, we have a big Halloween bin in the basement. And so I'd see him like rustling through like Halloween costumes to find something. He raided my wardrobe, which was a little concerning. But so
he's just trying to figure out what the fuck is business casual. That's all.
Totally. Well, apparently it is a pair of Viore joggers, a t-shirt, and Crocs. That's what he landed on.
Was he doing a video as you? Was he making fun of you?
Yeah, probably. We match, right?
I love it. Well, you said that you felt like HR wasn't as people focused as it used to be. Like, tell us a little bit about that, because HR has changed. I was in it for 16 years and I did the same path you did. Lori's still in it. A lot of people that are here are still in it. So tell us a little bit about what changed for you from your perspective.
There were, and I still remember a few very distinct moments that I was like, this just doesn't work for me. Like it doesn't align with my values anymore. And some of it's the company probably, but I do think that HR has significantly shifted. It's gone a lot more from, people are your biggest driver, right? And it felt to me like after the pandemic, it was a lot more focused on profits and people kind of were left by the wayside. And so I know that obviously you have to focus on profits too, but we saw some significant decisions that were impacting our teams in a way that, was just painful. You saw people burning out, people I saw more mental health leaves than I'd ever seen before, just that kind of stuff. And it just got to the point where it was just exhausting. And when you feel like you're running on a treadmill and you're not making any progress, it just gets to you at some point. And so I was kind of like, I had kind of a fuck it moment, where I was like, that's it. And there was one moment where there was an employee, I supported HR. And, as
HR for HR is the worst duty.
It's the worst job ever. And first of all, I don't think it should happen. I think you should have somebody external because it's just like painful. But so it was supporting HR. And as you know, we coached our managers. Like you can't just fire somebody, like you have to coach them. You have to give them a chance to improve. You have to do all these things. And
you have to actually talk to them.
Yes. You have to have a conversation. Like this person does not know that they're not performing. And the VP said to me, well, we're going to let him go today. And I said, well, have you had any conversation? First question, have you had any conversations with him? And she said, yeah, I've talked to him a few times, so it's not going to be a surprise. And I'm thinking, well, I'm your HR partner, and this is the first I'm hearing of it. So I'm pretty sure that is not the case. So they, and I know that wasn't the case because, of course, that's when it's a package. Like they give you a package and they tell you to go away, right? So that
sign the release.
Yep, that for me was just I didn't feel right about it, and I couldn't get on board. So I was like, it's time.
Tap out.
I've had some interesting through different kind of connections outside of work where I talk to people about kind of their cultures and their organizations. And I mean, there are definitely places just hands down. It's like, I would never be able to be an HR practitioner in a culture like that. Like I just
level 3.
I wouldn't do it.
I was going to say Schmevel 3 to provide some, obfuscation there.
Anonymity.
Right.
Well, you know how fast both of us, Meredith, we were out of there. I think we probably left skid marks on our way out. We were there so short.
I mean, it didn't help that I was in a closet and they never fed me. So
did they give you your stapler?
For salespeople all day. What?
Did they give you your stapler, Meredith?
I did have a stapler. Yes, I had to staple lots of papers. A cake every month when we celebrated birthdays. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail, but you asked the question, so.
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody's carrying some things with them.
Yeah. But it is a distinct, like, I feel like HR is one of the centers of an organization that can impact culture or isn't allowed to impact culture.
Yes.
And I, at this stage of my career, I wouldn't make the time, right?
Yeah.
Like not interested.
Nope.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you do. You get to a point where you're like, hell no.
Yeah.
That was the point I was at.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 3.5 years. Like it seems like yesterday when you opened Rise.
Yeah. And
Crazy.
Sometimes it feels like yesterday. And sometimes it feels like, 30 years.
Well, Jenny, when we were talking in our warm up, we talked about things that interested you. I asked you the question, like, what's the Lavey angle? What's your thing?
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, you already have a pilot product in place that you're starting to kick out. But what you talked about to me was this idea that new grads, they just don't know how to do it. There's no manual. They didn't go through the same set of experiences that we went through. I think back to how we were parented as GenXers or not parented.
Yes.
We knew how to make dinner before we finished 5th grade, and we're probably taking care of a younger sibling if we had one.
Yes.
all these trials and tribulations. And you and I talked about Scrubs.
Oh my God, I love Scrubs so much.
I know.
Did you watch it yet?
I've only seen the first two of the new season,
Okay.
so still in there. But what we talked about was the difference. So in Scrubs, there's a guy who's in charge of teaching the interns, and in the original series, that was a guy called Dr. Cox, and he was a hard ass. He was a hard ass with a heart of gold, right? I mean, he genuinely cared for the people that worked under him, but he was just a dick most of the time. But he did it to teach them the stuff, right? The lesson that show, do, teach methodology of doctoring. And that's just how it was. That was going to work. And if you were going to be a doctor, you were going to be sleeping in a room with 4 other people for a couple of hours until you had to be back on shift. And when things went wrong, they went wrong, right? And you learned your lessons and you moved on. And in the new reboot of the show, JD, who was an intern under Dr. Cox, is now in charge of that program. And he can't do it that way because he has this new HR lady. I forget who it is. It's a Saturday Night Live alum.
Yeah.
And she's always standing in the background going, giving her, the Ross, take it down.
Yes.
So like, it's different. It's a different world. And the things that made us successful, I don't know if they translate. So you saw this problem and you decided to do something about it. Tell us about this thing.
Well, I do have a personal stake. I've got 2 kids, 23 and 20. So one just graduated, 2 years ago, and one is a sophomore in college. And I mean, there's a lot of things at play here, right? Like, first of all, I think about like when you do something for the first time, nobody expects you to know exactly how to do it.
Right.
And for some reason, we throw somebody into an organization. And I think about all generations, honestly, it's the first one that I think the gap has been this big, maybe. But, you throw somebody into a new situation and you're like, you don't expect them to be able to perform it flawlessly or even perform it well, right? So I kept thinking like, hi, I'm new here. I haven't done this before. And so then I have to tell you what gave me the idea for launch. I told you, I think, right?
Yeah. Tell everybody.
Okay. It's, I probably should be embarrassed, but I love the show so much. I'm not embarrassed, but, has anybody heard of Bama Rush?
See, nobody's heard of this show. This is like Ruby.
Now you're going to watch it.
It's like Ruby and Xanadu.
Okay, so it's about sorority rush, and it's about these parents that pay coaches like big money to teach their kids how to get in the sorority, and they do teach them stuff like Ruby. Xanadu is the best. They teach them like how to dress, how to present themselves, how to shake hands, how to speak to people, how to tell their story, their elevator pitch. All of those
how
kinds
to
of
cross
things.
your legs or not.
Yes, or not. But I started thinking, and these coaches, I mean, one of them was like, oh, I get $20,000 to teach these kids. And I'm thinking, if you as a parent are going to invest in your kid, invest in them getting a job or like being ready to get a job. Invest in them adulting and getting out of your basement, right?
Right.
So that's where I started thinking about it. And Lori, we were talking about AI before the show. I started putting in AI. I was like, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I want to do. And I started putting in I looked at sorority coaches like websites and stuff. And I was like, this looks cool. And I just started playing with it. And I have always been pretty passionate about, I love young people coming into the workplace that are new and excited and not jaded yet, right? And so I thought how fun it would be to work with them and help them and help prep them for the workplace so that they feel not new when they walk in.
That's interesting. So do you have kids going through this? I call them kids, right?
Yeah.
I've got a 19-year-old freshman in college, so I'm very thinking about, okay.
Yep.
So how do they recognize that they don't know what they're doing, or did somebody recommend them? Like how much self-awareness is there, I guess, in that space?
This kid signed up on his own, which I think is impressive. And I don't know how many will recognize themselves and say, I need that. I think honestly, you've got two camps, right? You've got the people, it's like the person that raises their hand in class all the time. That's like, pick me, pick me. I think those kids will probably recognize that they might need a little help. But I think there's a whole other group of kids that desperately need the help, but don't realize they do. So they might need a little nudge from a parent, a school, a workplace, something. But yeah, I mean, they have great things to bring to the workplace. So let's help them do that.
Yeah.
I love what you just said. And it makes me think, because I made the comment earlier about how we were parented. And I think we, speaking broadly as Gen X here, swung the pendulum pretty hard the other direction. We didn't think we were doing it because we were just going to be better and more present and more checked in than our parents. And it's our generation that coined the term helicopter parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we put ourselves in a situation where when our kids leave and they go off to school or whatever, they don't know a lot of the stuff that we think they know because we stepped in and did it for them.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of this situation do you think we own as parents?
Probably all of it. I mean, here's the thing, even when you don't think you're doing it, because I've heard snowplow too, where we just like clear every obstacle out of the way. But and I do think there were some environmental things at play. And I know that supposedly the world's safer now, but we see so many more things that have gone wrong, or kidnappings and things that we've kind of like latched on tighter to our kids. But they weren't allowed to roam free. They didn't have to figure out how to get home after falling off their bike with a giant boombox on their shoulder, right? Like, which actually happened to me. So,
I love that you're an 80s meme on your bike with the boombox literally on your shoulder.
Yes.
Yes. I love stereotypes. Go, Jenny.
Yeah. So they didn't have to do all that stuff. And so we would say, hey, go cross the street and then wait for me. And then I'll tell you where we're going to go next. Right. So they are looking for literally like step-by-step instructions. And they're probably, a lot of them don't even ask if they don't, like, they just do the thing that they were told to do. And they might not ask what the next step is. They might think that they've done what they're supposed to do. They're not thinking like, what's the actual outcome you're looking for here. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I think there's so much, I mean, I think the whole world could do with about 100% increase in critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
And I think this generation, even more so, because everything is a Google away.
Yeah.
Right. Or just plug it into your navigation. You don't have to know what's north and south and what the major roads are.
Yeah.
Which I always made my kids. I'm like, you need to know how to get home.
Right, yeah.
Well,
you need to know that you're in the wrong place. This isn't where I was supposed to be, right? Not be like, my machine won't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
But I think that
it said drive into this lake.
Yeah. How did you end up in the lake? The car said, right?
It gives new meaning to if I jump up, or if that person jumps off a bridge, would you?
Seriously. So I think there's also that compounding factor of just the carrying around our computers in our phones, and everything's a touch away. Like, you don't have to plan very far in advance. You don't have to think through multiple things. You can kind of wing it step by step. And there isn't, there's less circumstance for them to have to think through those things. And then compound that with a helicopter parent who's like, I'll make that call for you. I'll take you to that thing. I'll figure this thing out for you. Right. So and they're just like chilling in their gaming chair going, life's pretty sweet right now, you know?
So and the Wi-Fi goes down and they're screwed.
Yeah. And then they walk out of their room like a zombie. Like, what do I do now? So Jenny, your friend's daughter had to go to the dentist, I believe, recently. This is a manifestation of this topic. So what happened when this young person went to the dentist?
Yeah.
On their own?
This young person happens to be, I know Eric was very kind and did air quotes and said my friend's daughter, but it's my daughter went to the dentist. I think she was 17. So we've gone to the same dentist most of her life. It happens to be in our neighborhood. So she knows where it is, all the things. She goes up to the dentist. She asked us to go with her, and we said, no, you're old enough. You can do this by yourself. She goes to the dentist. She parks in front and she FaceTimes us. And she says, there's 2 doors. Which one do I go in?
Yeah.
And my husband, first of all, we're looking at each other like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Laurel
and then
just
thinking,
face
like,
palmed. So
we failed. Yeah. And he's like, well, there's an easy way to find out. Go in one. If it's the wrong one, you go in the other.
Yeah. Seriously.
We've created this problem, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So your
I'm sure you
program's
all
gonna
have stories like this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morag realized when her son was trying to mail something in the mail that she'd never taught him how to address an envelope.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, admittedly, he was about 10 at the time, but yes, in pencil in the top right-hand corner where the stamp would go. And I do tell that story because my reaction was, what the are you doing? And his little face was, you've never shown me. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, no, I haven't.
Whoops.
We had the same thing. The same daughter went to summer camp and wrote us the letter. And God bless the mailman. I do not know how it made its way to us, but it did. And I was like, oh my God, they're not learning this stuff anymore. So yeah, the stuff we think they know, they don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's also part of it is the assumptions of somehow by osmosis, they should just know things.
Yeah.
And they don't, right? And we see that at work too.
Yeah,
For sure.
Right. And the skipping over the whole literally show them where the bathroom is. They don't remember it from the interview 4 weeks ago. Right. Don't make them feel
100%.
dumb.
I'm sure you guys have seen this, but they started teaching adulting classes.
Yes.
I have not
There's a
seen that.
class-
That's brilliant.
There's a class at a university that's about talking on the telephone.
Yes.
Wow.
Because they don't like to. I mean, my other daughter, she's going to get thrown under the bus too. She's like, can you call and order pizza for me? I was like, no. She goes, well, I can't do it online. I'm like, well, that's a problem then. You know, like you have to call and talk to them. And guess what? That girl did not order a pizza. And I was like, I guess you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And what's most ironic about that is she was probably texting you that from her phone.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
Jenny, what do you like? What's the program? What does that look like? What do you take them through?
Okay, so it depends on where they are in the journey. So if they have not found a job yet, it starts with like, okay, let's talk about first of all, what do you think you want, right? Like the world is big. There's a lot of jobs out there, all that kind of stuff. So what do you think you want? So kind of honing in on what they're interested in and looking at the courses they've taken, looking at the experiences they've had and trying to translate some of those skills into things that might be a good fit for them, right? So then from there, most of them do have a resume put together, but they're not great. And I heard you guys talking a few weeks ago, I think about like the AI with resumes and stuff and how you just have to have those keywords and, you know, so we do go through some resume stuff, like targeting the jobs that they want, those kinds of things. We talk about LinkedIn and I'll be honest, I think that the resume and LinkedIn, I do think they're important to have done, but the thing that is the most important is the networking, and they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to have the conversations that we used to have with people because they've never had to do it. They've been, again, they don't like to talk on the phone. They don't write letters. They don't, so they haven't been exposed to that world. And everything has been virtual and online and, Zoom calls, whatever. So they don't know there's an art there and there's, building of relationships that, I've had relationships with you guys for a very long time. And Meredith and I go back years and years and years. And that isn't just by accidents because we've been intentional about building those relationships and keeping in touch. But I don't think that they have that same, they just haven't done that before. They're new here,
Yeah.
So there's a big piece
I'm
on
new
that
here.
as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when they get a job, then it's like, how do you corporate? Back to what you said, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from like, I went to a DECA, I judged a DECA thing, which I loved. It was so fun. But so many of these kids can't look you in the eye, can't shake a hand. And I was like, every kid, I was like on their little sheet, I said, you need to make eye contact, not creepy, but make eye contact, and you have to shake hand. And I was trying to write it in a way that they'd understand, but it's like the web of your thumb and finger to the web of your their thumb and finger, and don't crush it, and don't take the finger, just they don't know how to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, everything from that to corporate jargon to how to get what you need when you're in a one-on-one, instead of just going in and just waiting for the boss to tell you what they need. Like, how do you ask for clarification? How do you, if something's not going well, how do you communicate that? All those kinds of things. So yeah, so it's super fun. And we hear from the managers when people don't know how to do that. So I feel like I have the flip side.
Right.
Don't you have a story about a young gentleman who needed an answer and decided to get that answer? I mean, high marks for initiative and stepping out. But tell the folks at home what this young guy did.
Yeah, so he was a go-getter. He was very excited. He had a lot of great ideas. He was kind of a legend in his own mind a little bit, right? But he came out of school and he was just so excited to get started, and he wanted to be involved in every meeting, and he wanted his ideas, implemented, not even just like heard, but implemented. And he reached out to the CEO of a large company, and he asked the CEO if he could get together with him for a meeting. And I was like, that is just, they don't understand that that's just not acceptable when you've never met this person. You've leapt over 5 different levels of the organization. So those kinds of things, I think.
It's like, hey, I want to get my shit done. That guy can make it happen. I'm just going to schedule a call.
Yes.
Because in my world, when I put my HR hat back on, I imagine being in Jenny's office and the phone rings and it's the CEO going, why the fuck is this guy calling me?
Why is Timmy calling me?
Yeah.
Yes. And that's exactly what happens. I mean, as HR people, we all know we've gotten those calls. Take care of this. Take care of this. Yeah. And we have to coach the employee.
Well, I think there's also, we talk a lot about personality styles, right? Yeah. When you think of all the tools and the DISC assessment and things that we talk about. And so there's also that variable, because these kids, they have these same personality preferences. And so then the way they manifest, right? That kid's probably like a solid, D kind of like, let's get some stuff done. I have great ideas. I don't, what's the problem? Everybody should just be jumping to it. Yeah. Right? And so it looks like that versus somebody with a different style who's going to hang way back and isn't going to say anything and isn't going to assume that anybody wants to hear what they have to say. And then they get overlooked, right? Yeah. So you get judged or you get overlooked because you just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And you made a point earlier about, you said something about like being able to, you said they can't just learn through osmosis. But I think one of the benefits we all had is we did learn by watching each other. Like you knew what not to do by watching your peers or your colleagues or your boss or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you were in an office and you were able to witness some of those difficult things. And they don't have that now. So many places are remote, which I do think remote is great. And I love having it. And I also think it's a real disservice to these new people coming into the workforce because they just don't get to see and learn from other people like we did.
Jenny, I feel like we earned remote.
I know, and I feel bad saying that, but it really is true because you do have to build. It's like a muscle. Like you don't go right to 10 pull-ups. You have to build slowly. Right. You have to start with 1 or start with just hanging on the bar, right?
Let's be honest.
You don't just go right to it.
Well, and then there's the flip side of the maturity or the skill of the leaders that they land under, right? Because there's a lot of leaders who have been in the traditional we're all in the office kind of situation, and they don't quite know how to lead a remote team or a hybrid team, or they don't quite think through the generation, right? The assumptions made of like, shouldn't they just know this? And so they don't take the time to speak to that generation's experience. And and there's others who are very perceptive and who are very dialed into that. And so there's also so I love hearing that you talk about the whole what's a one-on-one for? Why do those even exist? And how do you participate in a way that is advocating for yourself, but also not assuming, could everyone rally around me and my success in my next promotion? Because I think that's also kind of that perception of that we've created where, everyone progresses and everyone's a winner and everybody gets our full attention and we'll get rid of all barriers for you. Yep. And so then they come to work and they're like, okay, who's my mom at work that's gonna, clear the path for me.
And they're used to things happening very fast, like instant access to everything, right? And so if things take time, I remember being impatient too when I was new at work. I was like, well, I want to move up, right? Like,
I've been here 6 months. I'm ready for promotion.
Where's my promotion? Yeah. But I think that there's just so many things that are at play. So it's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caitlin had one of her stories. She said her favorite was someone CCing Colorado Governor Jared Polis on an email. And then she said parenthetically, I was not working in government.
That's still probably the best one. Like, I just love that so much. It was so funny.
I'm telling the governor.
Find anyone's number.
This person had copied everyone up their leadership chain all the way to, and this was a very large organization, the CEO, and then Jared Polis was on it. It just really made me laugh.
Wow. A little bit of a blind spot there. Ethics or the I don't know, the rules of engagement. Yes. Yeah. So Michelle had something in the chat about wondering if the younger generation asks some of these absurd questions because they want to create a connection. Like maybe they can't ask their friends these questions or they might get shamed kind of thing, like are they just trying to find the safe place? But I think there's just so much they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just a different space where maybe they've been taken care of literally till the day they walk in to get that job. So,
and it's not their fault.
No.
Right. I mean, we said earlier, it's kind of our fault, right?
Yeah.
Like, we created this situation for many folks. And I think one of the things I love about, a program like yours, Jenny, is it's not a retribution thing. It's not something that I have to do punitively. It is right. It is okay to not know, right? Because you didn't have the experiences that in your growing up years that aligned you for this next thing, right? Because we did, but that's because that's how the world worked then. It doesn't work that way anymore, and it's not required, right? I mean,
it wasn't like we even knew that's what we were doing.
No.
By being able to get home after you fell off your bike with your boombox.
You just had to figure it out.
Preparing yourself for
Right. And there was a different set of expectations, and there was no crutchy tools. Like, we didn't have any shortcuts.
No, you just suffered. Like if
you just so
you couldn't find
the downside of that,
go.
right? Like if you didn't have a quarter and you weren't anywhere near a payphone, you had to walk somewhere until you were.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to know where you were.
Or you called your parents and you said, collect call by
yes.
Go pick me up at the movie theater.
That was just an efficiency strategy, Jenny.
Right.
Because when I would do that, my dad would say, no.
But I think there's also the pace of things and the expectation at work with I remember my mom talking about this because she said they called us secretaries then.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know what was ever wrong with that term. But she was a secretary for two lawyers that did like real estate law here in Denver. And when she started with them, she said we used to send contracts back and forth in the mail, and you would take a day or two and the lawyer would mark them up and we would take notes and we'd draft a letter and we'd send it back in the mail, and then they would write and you would get on the phone and have a conversation. But now it's like, I'm going to email you this document. I need you to redline and send it to me. And I need you to scan me a copy, and I need you to fax it to this person. And I need you to email it back to me by 5:00. And she's like, there's a little loss of quality that happens in that pace. And so I think there was also room as we were entering the workforce that things didn't have to go so freaking fast.
You're so right. I never thought of that, but we had built-in pauses.
Yeah.
No, that's such a good point. And Eric, you had asked me too, you said, do you think that this generation, like, because every new generation comes into the workforce, right? Is it always a train wreck? Or you didn't say it that way, but and I do think, yes, it's a culture shock every time. Everybody, like, there's always somebody bitching about the new generation coming in. I mean,
they bitched about us. We bitched about millennials, right? Like,
yeah. Like Gen X was lazy, whatever. Like it goes through all the generations. The thing that I think is different is your point, Lori. Everything moves so much faster and so much has changed. So more change from boomers to X. There was maybe this much change, and then millennials this much. And now the gap gets wider and wider. And so they're going to a foreign land.
Right. Yeah. The relatableness is, but I've also read some things generationally where like they were talking about how millennials entering the workforce seem to have this really strong affinity to the baby boomers. Like there was sort of this skip over thing where
see,
there
we
was
got forgotten again.
There was what's that? Yeah, right.
We got forgotten again.
Totally.
We just got our key around our neck here. We'll be fine. But there was like this kind of natural mentoring kind of situation where the boomers maybe were recognizing like, ooh, these kids need help.
We just have a common enemy. You.
There you go. You're not going to get anything of value out of this.
Boomer.
I love it. Well, maybe that's what we can be for the new generation. Maybe there is a point where you get in your career, because if it's the generation right above you, they're probably competing for the same stuff you're all competing for the same stuff. Right. And when you're further, one generation further, you do feel a little bit more like, I hope, let's help you guys acclimate a little bit, or let's get you up to speed.
There's a little more grace.
Yeah.
Right. I was new once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love it.
How do you see mentoring fitting into this dynamic of help the new generation coming in, and how maybe organizations can go beyond what does the HR onboarding take care of? What does direct leadership take care of? But then what about mentoring?
Well, okay. So a couple things come to mind. So one is, and I'm sure you all know this one, but the 70-20-10. So like when you're in development, when you're, you want to learn something new, or you want to be exposed to a new experience or move up in your career, we usually frame it as a 70-20-10 split. So 70% is like, on the job training, right? Like you're learning as you go, you're figuring things out. And then 20% is coaching and mentoring, which I think is a crucial piece there. And then 10% is coursework. And we tend to lean towards that 10% being coursework.
It's easier
but mentoring,
to do.
I think, is huge, because those are the people that you're going to be able to ask the embarrassing questions to, and they're going to be able to tell you the real story, and they're going to be able to help you navigate through sensitive situations. So I absolutely think more than ever, we need those people. And if I could, I would, I don't know if I've said it to you guys, but in the show Billions, they had that woman. I think she was a psychologist, but I always think about her as like like they could just go to her and like talk through stuff. And I'm like, I wish every company just had a crop of people that's what they did. That's all they did, is they provide guidance to people in the workforce,
What's the term? I can never say it right. The ombudsman.
Oh, yeah.
Like in an academic setting where there's a person that's sort of the catch-all of like, this is the place to start. Maybe they can't fix it, but they can get you in the right place. Like maybe there needs to be the corporate ombudsman.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what a cool thing to be able to do. I talked to a guy a couple of weeks ago, and he said that he's older now, and he's like, I'm retirement age, but I still want to be able to mentor young people, so they keep me there part-time, and that's what I do. And I was like, we need that.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
David, you got your hand up.
Yeah, this is a great discussion, and I've been looking for moments to check in because it just pokes and prods at me in a number of ways. Jenny, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
First, if I could just offer up 2 or 3 things. First of all, this sort of shared experiences that maybe the newest generation coming in the workforce, they'll bring their shared experiences. Part of the challenge that I think about is the international population, right? The unique aspects that people bring with them from world experiences, cultural experience, unique ethnicity. So I just want to throw that into the mix, but it does cause me to think about the solution that you're referencing. It seems like it could be packaged and handed off to companies where they have this onboarding means to help people adult within the company. You'll call it something else, but it's a way to understand, here's how things work here. And as we know, some companies even provide buddies, which leads me to another point. And the buddy system is great because you know who you go to early on to just understand you know, how things work here, the software, tell me again. But there are circumstances that are starting to happen in larger companies who just think these are cool, shiny objects, where they provide coaching AI chatbots for leaders and for others within the organization to get ready responses on common conditions. And there's an argument to be raised as to whether those are effective. I think I've just pressed Eric.
Oh yeah, I have a story about that too.
Well, that was in that HBR article.
On something else at some point, if I could.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'll just throw those things out.
That AI chatbot thing was in the HBR article that prompted me to write my AI article this week or last week, because in many instances they are unleashing those coach bots on employees, and companies are ticking the box like, we did the thing. Yeah. You didn't really do the thing. You just kind of left them with a little bit of a smarter talk partner that might make them feel good, maybe, right? Yeah. So fascinating. Anyway, Jenny, sorry I jumped in there.
Yeah, no, I think it's so interesting because we actually just had this experience. We had a leader who she was doing one-on-ones with her team, and she was using a script, and it was a very strict script, and she did not veer from it. And the reason we were brought in was to help manage through some conflict that they were having on the team, because nobody thought that she cared about them. And so I just find it so interesting. So AI can't human yet. I don't think it will. I mean, I don't think it'll get there, but who knows? I've been wrong many times. So all they needed was a little empathy, or a little, how's your family, or what's on your mind? You know, and she was sticking to the script that she got from AI.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I do think that, I mean, if you need to know where the benefits handbook is, absolutely. It's a great tool. If you need somebody to walk you through a sensitive thing, empathy is something that needs to be, seen and shared, and it doesn't have it.
It can't.
So I don't know. Does that answer the question?
I don't know if I posed it as a question,
okay.
An observation, just to add to the mix. And if I could add one other thing, I just got back from a bucket list trip to Australia and New Zealand. But while we were in Sydney, Australia, my wife and I were walking around downtown, and they call their financial districts CBDs. So that's everywhere within Austin, and it's the central business district. But anyways, we were walking around the central business district of Sydney, which is just this beautiful city. they've designed the CBD for walking, for pedestrians, for riding bikes, for cable cars and so forth, the above ground mass transit. So super cool. But at 2 p.m. on like a Tuesday when we arrive, it is packed with people walking around, and 20-something, 30-somethings kind of in corporate uniforms, in the sense that they're wearing sport coats and no ties. It was interesting, the commonality, but there were thousands of people walking around, and of course slacks and so forth. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we're wondering where they're going, what are they doing? And when we spoke with some of the locals, they said, yeah, first of all, Sydney has mandated, I guess it'd be in a legal fashion, people have to be at work minimum 3 days a week. So employers that are required to, they wanted to keep their downtown businesses that rely on the foot traffic of everyone being downtown. But it also caused me to get the sense that people understood that roughly here's the uniform that's being worn in this business region. And you can find plenty of other 20 and 30 somethings because they're here. They're required to be here. And it just gave the sense that there was this emerging work culture in front of us. Now, I don't know how effective it is, but it certainly seemed to be this tons of energy. We know when we're walking the halls of companies, there's a hallway culture. Or here, there was a financial district culture that seemed young, energized, and engaged in some ways because they were required to be where the business was happening. So it was fascinating to see they took the turn back and to come to work.
Yep.
Anyway,
people long for belonging, right?
Yes,
and
exactly.
Finding ways to fit in and find their people, and and that's kind of a human nature thing. But then that also, you swing the pendulum too hard, and then you lose individuality, and you lose innovation, and you lose that fire. Right, you get homogenous, and
it didn't look like business casual, that's for sure.
But it's an interesting kind of experiment of human nature to people want to fit in, right, and find their affinity.
Listening to David's story reminds me, I worked in San Francisco during the .com explosion.
Same.
And it felt like that. Like there was a culture, there was a vibe. And it did not end at 5 o'clock, right? People, 20s and 30s, young folks. When I started that job, I was probably like 27 or 28. I mean, I had nowhere to go. I was going to take the train back to, the East Bay and be in my empty place by myself. Why would I go home? I'm going to hang out and do the thing that all the other .com employees are doing. What's happening? And there's events, and I mean, so many businesses got started out of just those hangouts. Yeah. Right. And people's networks were huge. Yes. And then the bubble exploded and everybody had to find jobs elsewhere. That's how I got
Well, it's funny that you mentioned we're all seeking community, because I know you guys started Corporate Bartender right around COVID, right? That's when it started. And that's why I was religiously there, because you guys were my community. We were all at home, and I'm one of those people that needs other people. I mean, I think we all do, but I'm extra needing other people, like extrovert. So that you guys were there. It was awesome.
That's why we did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we still do it. I mean, if anybody out there thinks that I am collecting checks for Corporate Bartender, no, I'm writing checks. And for those of you who don't know, writing a check is a piece of
Here's
paper.
how that works. First, you're going to have to call your bank and order them. That's come up 3 times at work, where there's been a situation where somebody actually had to write a check and they're like, where do I get those? We're like, okay, which bank do you go to?
That's where you have to start. Yes. And actually, going back to AI, I think it can be a helpful tool in how to give instructions to people, because if you don't give it enough, it's going to ask for more. Because I will say something like, well, go fill the car up with gas. Okay, but what side of the car? Where do I go? What kind of gas? You know what? Like, you
Don't
have to
use
start
the
from
green
very
one.
beginning. But
Right.
yeah,
Don't
the green
use
one.
the green one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing bad will happen.
Yeah. That's when I notice the most sort of assumptions that you make of kids at a certain age, when
Yep.
you feel like and I try to be cognizant of this, like, give them independence, let them figure some things out. But then at the same time, they're like, literally, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let me bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Jenny, how do people find you on the worldwide interwebs, and how do they get in touch with you if they have a friend who may need this launch program?
So you can find us at risehumanresources.com. Also on the socials at Caitlin's still on here, right? I think it's Rise Human Resources on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Reach out. We'd love to help. And David, you brought something up, but we'd love to come into corporations that are hiring a bunch of interns or new employees, and get a cohort together so they can have that together time, and then they have a whole bunch of people they can actually share the experience with.
Or that you can train them up on the delivery of it, because I would consider it an accelerated onboarding.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Get those leaders ready and give them the tools. I love it.
Yeah.
I love this conversation so much. Jenny, thank you. Thank you for being here.
As always, such a fun time.
I looked at the clock like 20 minutes ago, and I'm like, oh, we have plenty of time. And then I just looked, and I'm like, oh, shit, we have 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
Right.
We still have your stuff to do.
I know. We still have last call. But, I mean,
that's right.
Thank you so much, Jenny. To have somebody that was a member of the original community be doing amazing things out in the world, and to come back and share those stories with us, just super grateful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah.
All right. Last call, as we call it these days. Funny things, good feels, and my silly cocktail. Funny things, dumb shit from the internet that made Eric laugh this week. This is, I've been reading a lot of the Stoics. I've been reading Epictetus of late. That's my latest thing to do. This philosopher I wasn't aware of, Mediocrities. Anybody familiar with Mediocrities' work? Good enough. I love maps, and when I see maps that describe things so succinctly, I want to share them. This is Europe, and it's divided by Tomato Europe and Potato Europe.
Potato Europe. Amazing.
And Lori and Ruby love when I do Schrodinger jokes. They love good.
Like, do we though?
Psychiatry
love
jokes.
the right word.
So this one is for you too. Sometimes you just need a good, clean joke. And there's two pictures, one of dog shampoo and one of Pavlov, dog conditioner.
That's pretty funny.
Come on.
Play the no.
No, I'm giving myself laughs. I'm getting laughs on that joke. I'm going to stay in the dog lane on this one. This is a dog in a Chinese airport, and you need to read his vest. It says, "Explosive dog." And the caption is, "Pets him very carefully."
Maybe a little lost in translation.
I love when there are pictures of animals doing shit on trail cameras. This is two gophers, but the caption kills me. The caption is, "Hold up, Terry. I got this motherfucker." And it's one gopher in the camera's lens, and he's got his paw back on the chest of the gopher behind him. He's like, "I got this."
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
But my favorite funny thing this week is so stupid. Ruby, this is so stupid. This is a Hulk Hogan joke. Because you know how he always used to say, you know how he'd always say, "Brother." This is a picture of the underside of a cow festooned with accoutrement to make it look like Hulk Hogan. And it says, "Brother."
stupid.
It's the stupidest thing I saw this week.
But clever.
Oh, talking about generations, today's good feel story is Steve doing Steve stuff. I thought I was going to get through it without crying. I've seen it before. I cried again. I mean, every
Well,
time.
I think I need to take my husband to some pottery class, but you know what he would do? He'd try to make an urn.
Oh, Laurel.
I mean, you don't have to pay for one then. Let him use the one he made.
Exactly. I'm putting him in a, one of those canning jars. Just
Wow. What's happening?
It's taken a dark turn here at the bartender. So greatest generation, folks, thank you for creating pottery. Urns may they be. Gen Z folks that are listening, hey, we love you. We made fun of you a little bit today, but we made fun of ourselves too. So last but not least, what we call the distributed cocktail. I call this one Know Your Audience. It's a riff on a real cocktail called the Juggler. And I guess this is how we're supposed to look when we're busy. This is a guy. This happened in Colorado, in Commerce City. He was juggling flaming torches on a unicycle in the middle of US 85. You're gonna need some gin, a little lemon and lime juice, juggling fire on a unicycle in an intersection, some grapefruit juice. He was caught by a drone, which makes me laugh. Little bit of bitters. Please don't try this. The police who arrested him, this is my favorite quote. We thought his act was quite good and quite illegal. So apparently the guy was a really good juggling unicyclist involving fire. But yeah, I don't know what the end game was here. When you talk about not knowing how to corporate, this is not knowing how to human. Like, what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to get hit by a car? Are you hoping to make the news? Maybe it's that. Maybe that was the end game. I don't know. Made me think of Ron Burgundy. And I said, stay classy, Colorado.
He made it on TCB. What better gift is there?
I mean, come on.
Claim to fame.
He's famous. You're famous. We're all famous, or we're not. Thank you, everybody. Gratitude for each and every one of you. Thanks to Jenny Lavey for being here with us today. Thanks to all of these familiar faces that we see coming back. Love you guys so much. Until next time.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you had a good time and learned a thing or two at today's happy hour, please share it with your friends. If you want to join our tribe, head on over to skyeteam.cloud/TCB or email us at info@skyeteam.com. That's SKYE team.com. Thanks again, and remember, you've always got friends at the Corporate Bartender.